In the bottom right, in this team kill from Dragon Kites of Gaming, he's the red Zerg. It's Dark. His opponent in the upper left in the blue. Dragon Kites of Gaming as well, and the reigning world champion, it's Oliveira. Man, I am so excited to see Oliveira back. I cannot get over how nice it is to see him playing. So Oliveira, he had, I think, if you've been following Starcraft, you're going to be aware, he had the most surprising, the most exciting, the most, any superlative you want to give it, the most incredible run during IEM Katowice. He goes, he takes down, he barely sneaks into the playoffs. Narrowly sneaks in the playoffs. He actually had a losing record going into it. And he certainly lost to Dark in the group stage. And then he goes and he beats Raynor. Number 2 Zerg in the world, probably, at that time. Maybe there's an argument right now that Raynor might be the best Zerg in the world after that, the Gamers 8 victory. But anyway, number 2 Zerg in the world at the time, probably. He takes down Hero, absolutely, best Protoss player in the world. And then he takes down Maru, who is the greatest Terran of all time. Greatest Terran player in the world at any given time. Maybe not this season. He did lose that in the round of 16 of the GSL. But regardless, this incredible run. And then he actually does it very nicely in the weeks following. He has an incredible run in the World Team League. You're like, wow, you know, Oliveira is keeping this. And then he has just kind of fallen off the radar a little bit. We haven't seen him competing as much in say, the WTL. We haven't seen him doing a lot of the stuff that he would normally do. And there were actually rumors coming out of China that Oliveira didn't feel like he could bring himself back up to the quality of play that he showed during Katowice, during that kind of the weeks following when he was just still so very good. So there were rumors that he was just gonna go and retire, that he was done, that he had reached the pinnacle of his career, that he was not going to play anymore. Well, at least right now we can see that Oliveira is not doing that, putting a little pressure on the map right now. And you know, in the semifinals here of this KSL, that's already a pretty nice result. And he go. And Dark says lol. I was gonna say, wow, you know, he's doing so nice, such a good job here with the Reaper. He gets the creep tumor, and then he loses the creep tumor. And the best part of the KSL is the players absolutely feel empowered, emboldened to go and all chat. As Dark flaming his teammate Oliveira for losing the Reaper right there. But these Lings, they shouldn't get much done. There are plentiful Marines on the map where we're going at pace. This is of course a 1-1-1 opener coming out of Oliveira here. So barracks, factory, starport. Likely, oh, I was gonna say likely this tech lab is gonna be for a Banshee, but no, we got a medevac on the way. This is kind of a page out of Bjorn's book a little bit, where he'll go and he'll do this kind of 1 Widow Mine, 6 Marine type of drop, just committed, but a little bit weird. And behind this, 2nd, 3rd barracks on the way. So Oliveira is committing to things. He is committing to that bio behind this, but I'm really interested to see how this is going to work out. So yeah, 6 Marines, a Widow Mine. This does of course mean the cleanup is much more difficult than the Zerg might otherwise like. We have that cleanup looks impossible right now. Actually, it's 4 Lings. It's a bunch of Queens, but it's 4 Lings on the other side of the map. And Dark is supply blocked as well, losing that Overlord. He's not gonna have an easy cleanup here. If Oliveira chooses the right attack path, if he goes into, say, the natural where there's 1 Queen, he can maybe get a lot of work done. But for now, he's going to try to get the creep tumor. Unsuccessful. 3 HP, it survives. And of course, the longer that Oliveira waffles, the more likely it is that Dark's going to be able to defend. In fact, Dark is not afraid of this. We're not seeing him build more Lings. We're not seeing him build Roaches necessarily. He's happy on his Queen count. He's building drones behind this, so certainly if the Queens are quick on the rotation, they should be okay. And for now, it's just going to be target fire here, running away. Target fire, Widow Mine tries to get the low Queen. Actually will knock that down from the Marines. 1 Queen goes down. Oliveira trying to get the 2nd one, and that really should be it. Yeah, this This is going to be it. Oh, he's not going to get the second queen. Never mind. We lied. So queen goes down. Second queen stays alive. Everything dies. No drones die. Just I don't think that I really don't think that was really what Oliveira was looking for. And now Dark feeling emboldened here on Goldenaura. He's got his fourth base on the way. And remember, when we talk about this fourth base, it'd be tempting to say, wow, this is decently pushable. There's this high ground right here. There's the rocks right here. But this is so wide open. Really just outside in front of it, but also just kind of the attack patterns going in. This fourth base is not the easiest fourth base for a Terran to push. At least not once the Zerg has their stuff set up. Once the Zerg really has their army fully set up. So Oliveira is going to try to hit that early. Remember, he got a pretty quick second and third barracks. His production is going like gangbusters. We are 6 minutes in. Stim is done. Like, this is a fast Terran timing right now. Of course, losing that medevac doesn't feel good. Losing the medevac is, it does slow this down just a little bit. No combat shields as well, but this is a really powerful timing. +1 done in about 20 seconds. And we talked about how this is not the easiest thing for the Terran to push. Well, that's when the Zerg is ready. Dark is going to struggle to be ready right now, but a big surround anyways on the north side. We said Dark's going to struggle to be ready. That's a lie. These roaches here seem like they are going to be more than enough. The tanks are going to go down. Not a lot for Oliveira to do. He forced to back up, loses 2 tanks. And round 1 of this pressure, or I guess round 2 after the first drop happened, not particularly exciting. So combat shield's done in 10 seconds. Doesn't matter. They got to stay on the ground. They got to stay in the air. And this push from Dark all of a sudden seems really strong. He's got 1-1. He's up 50 army supply. This is going to be a tough hold for Oliveira right now. But luckily, he hasn't tried to take the third base. There's only one salient point he's attacking into. I don't think this armor survives, though. I think that goes down very, very quickly here as now Dark tries to find his way in. The walls go up, the walls go down. One tank will fall, but a decent hold here from Oliveira to start. Surprisingly decent hold, and Z-Bay, again, stays alive. But no way Dark lets this third base stay up. Absolute, well, you would think not, but the bio stims down the ramp, and for now, Dark is getting forced back a little bit. We got 2 tanks here outside of the natural. Oliveira, he's going to have to withstand a 2-pronged attack from Dark, but Dark doesn't do it right. He triggers with the right side before the left side, soaks too much damage on half of his army, and honestly, this has been, it's been a good hold from Oliveira, but it's also been a little sloppy from Dark. Not quite what you're looking for, as we talk about Dark having this significant supply lead and looking to sledgehammer home. Well, it's a little sloppy on the execution, but also Dark is getting ready for that next stage of the game. He's got 2-2 on the way. He's got Ling speed because you don't want to stay pure range units for like the entirety of the game. You do want Lings. You do want that mobility, especially as the game goes later. So Dark, Ling speed on the way. Given the fact that he's got 2-2, this is a pretty slow infestation pit. Dark is one of those players that if he's transitioning out of Roach Ravager, he likes to go and transition incredibly quick. But now, 16 Marines on the right side. This 5th base, ooh, it's gonna die. Not even a cancel here. So Dark takes a little bit of damage on the other side, and again, his transition is just slow. But he's going to try to make the pressure happen regardless, as Oliveira is dropping on the other side. So that means his army's not here. SCVs have to get pulled, but this tank line doing really nicely. The roaches are getting on top of it, and this Sim City is absolutely beautiful here. Oliveira, yeah, he's going to lose 2 tanks, but he kills everything. He loses like 7 SCVs. What a beautiful hold from Oliveira. And on the other side, he kills the main base of Dark. That's a lair going down. I don't know if there was a hive on the way. He's got 17 drones. He's got the main base of Dark going down. This is an incredible move. What an incredible state of affairs from Oliveira. And honestly, I'm not saying this is Oliveira on World Championship form, because honestly, I don't think it is. I think he's good, but he was something else in Katowice. But this is the kind of thing that we saw from him at Katowice. This where the setup where you see him playing this game and it feels like he just understands what's happening in the game better. He's Loki, or yeah, no, he's Doctor Strange, right? You know, in the Avengers, he sees all the opportunities and he's found the one that makes him win. He's a Tavarine. Fate flows around him. He's got this idea where he's able to figure out what just the one move that he's got to make to bring himself back into the game, to win the game, whatever it is. And in this game, that was sending your double drop into the main base as Dark attacked and not bringing it home, killing the main base. And yeah, Oliveira's supply not incredible just yet, but he's actively up on workers. He's got 2-1, so he's only down 1 upgrade. And again, that tank line, you're not breaking this. Maybe it might take a little bit longer to get a 4th base, but he's going to slowly interim his way forwards, and Dark wants to prevent this from happening. Remember, Dark's timing is much slower right now because he doesn't have the hive. There will be no infestors, nothing else like that. And Dark thinking about pulling the trigger, but not quite, as he expands everywhere. 3 hatcheries on the way, really at the same time. He's on 3 bases right now, I guess technically 4, but he's got 5, 6, and 7. He's got 5, 6, and 7 on the way right now, and you know, eventually he's gonna mine out of them. But for right now, this pressure trying to go through that choke, 1 tank will fall. But again, this SimCity that Oliveira has is quite frankly disgusting. It's so good. And +1 mech attack done in 10 seconds. 2-2 done here. Oliveira stims down the ramp, and there's no way the Dark makes this happen. And some overlords going down here as well, which I may or may not supply Dark, not sure. Probably not with the number of bases the Dark has now. But at this point, Dark is maxed. Dark is solidly, or excuse me, Oliveira's maxed. He's on that 4 base. He's got his planetary on the way. He's building tanks 2 at a time. +3 attack's going to be done very quickly here. And yeah, Dark's getting +2 melee, but he doesn't have Baneling Nest, much less Baneling Speed. That it's just a bunch of lings, which are, quite honestly, not as scary as adding in a bunch of Banelings would be. So Biles go down. We find not all that much. And now the Liberators, the next round of aggression here coming out of Oliveira, just forcing Dark back. And Oliveira's going to find out that Dark doesn't really have a lot of economy. He's going to lose a couple more. Well, actually, 1 more drone, but he gets a queen as well. Okay, this is a little bit dicey here. I don't like this as much. Just, yeah, back away. Still a heavy drop, but not right on top of the army. That's not what Oliveira wants to do. So, for now, 4 bases. 5th base on the way, maxed out. 3-2 on the 3-2 done, +3 armor on the way, +2 tank attack done. A 3rd factory on the way as this drop happens, and now into the main base once again here. The 2nd snipe of the main for Oliveira, and yeah, he's gonna have to back up, but nothing bothers these medevacs, and he's gonna get this base. Yeah, he should get this base as well. Just drop on top of this army, Oliveira. Just have fun with it. He's gonna lose 1 drop. And I guess maybe that means, oh no, yeah, he's going to drop on top after all. This one's a little slow though, Oliveira, but he will get the base. So that's 2 hatcheries down. A Dark supply blocked, aggressively supply blocked, the 2nd time in this game. No, Dark with his Hydroden on the way. Oliveira, by the way, scans out the gold. Knows that is probably going to be his the next salient point, because if he gets the gold, that's pressure onto this base. That's pressure to just sweep across the map. So that's where Oliveira is going to want to go to next. But for now, waiting for the ghost to complete. He's got 4 of them on the way. Blue Flame, halfway done. Not a particularly fast time, but halfway done. +2 mech attack, very close to completion. Drilling Claws, very close here. Oliveira very much just rounding out his composition, adding in just a couple Vikings as well to make sure he can zone out the Vipers as well as he can. And the one thing he's got to worry about right now is just how good this creep spread is. Dark is just, I mean, look at this creep spread. It's effectively touching the 5th base of Oliveira. So Oliveira has to deal with that. He does want to clean that one up. But for now, the Vikings on the high ground here. This creep spread is starting to recede just a little bit as now missile turrets on the way, sensor towers on the way here. Just a couple units moving forward, trading as well. And again, they're going to trade pretty dang well. Trading as well as they can against this Zerg army. And now Blue Flame is done. Of course, Carapace is also done for the Zerg, but Oliveira, with this timing that he has, is feels pretty powerful. Now, Parasitic Bomb, you need to split those Vikings out. He's not going to, not just yet, but as long as the Banelings don't get insane connections, and even still, it's 6 Banes to kill a Ghost. It's not all that scary. This army of Oliveira will continue to trade. I mean, as I say that, that was a couple medevacs going down, some bio going down, big biles, actually. And Oliveira wants to push up this ramp. He wants to establish position on the high ground right here so he can go in and put pressure on this base. Or it's not even a base, but put pressure, hold the Zilnaga tower, put pressure on the bottom left base. He's still going to find it a little hard, though. Still going to struggle a little bit. We're going to have to find out what exactly happens here. I'd love to see him go and get aggressive on the other side of the map again. So Oliveira's been very aggressively trying to take the ramp here, trying to move up onto the high ground. He's losing units every time. The Army of Dark's right there. And actually, I was going to say, maybe he just wants to attack elsewhere, but it seems like he's finally found that position. As I say that, Banes are going to make some pretty solid connections. And remember, Hellbats were nerfed. They would +3 Hellbats don't one, or +3 Blue Flame Hellbats don't one-shot Lynx anymore. They'd have to two-shot them. So not quite as strong in the late game as they once were, but even still, Oliveira seems like he's established his bulkhead now. It's not incredible just yet, but it is. He can sit on the high ground and not be worried about it now, and that's actually a really big deal. So he's got the high ground, kind of. Drops a scan on the right side, sees that there's a base right there, and again, I would love to see him just go drop on that, but I guess he's actually pretty short. He's only got 3 medevacs. He doesn't have this incredible high medevac composition that allows him to do what he wants, but he's going to see the infestors now. And that's actually a really big scan. Dark is incredible at infestor play. But if you can get the snipes down, if you can get the EMPs down, that's going to be really nice. 2 ghosts die just immediately there. Off the friendly fire, off the fungals, off all the damage. So it's not the most cost-effective trade, but this game very much slowing down right now as Oliveira continues to try to break this position. Those are going to be some pretty solid snipes. But Oliveira trying to break the position. Again, he wants to take the bottom. He wants to take the gold base out of commission here. He doesn't want Dark to have that because, well, yeah, there's this base on the north side. That's not a gold. And actually, you know what? As I say that, as this game is turtling up, as this game is going to go for maybe another 10, 12 minutes, as a nice EMPs there on the infestors, I think actually, if you're the Terran, you don't care about this gold base nearly as much. Because realistically, is that now here comes the Broodlord timing. Liberators are going to have to siege up. We have like 1 Viking. And do we have personal cloaking, actually? No, we don't. So Ghost can't just go in and cloak and snipe and cloak and snipe. This is a position here where the Broodlords don't have any good answers. Hellbats, maybe. And remember, the Broodlords were heavily changed. The Broodlings on the ground were pretty heavily nerfed, but even still, these waves and waves of units going forward are killing so many of these tanks. And Oliveira, I think he's going to have to give this position up. Now, Viking slowly, ever so slowly, is killing the Broodlords. 1 goes down, and actually he might get a second. Nah, he's going to run away. Snipe goes down, gets the Viper. But we have to see more anti-air. Now we have Thors on the way here. Now maybe some snipes for the Ghosts, because they just don't have personal cloaking. They can't get close. Every time the Ghosts try to queue up their snipes, they get tapped. So this position now from Oliveira looking a little bit more tenuous. Just a tiny bit. So he's going to go expand north side where there's a Ling, and Dark's going to have the solid. Dark's going to have vision. He's going to know what's happening. Now Thors are on the way with that high impact payload, and nice CMPs there on the Vipers as well, so the Thors will be able to fight. No blinding clouds really going to be available. And at this point, with snipes going down, Broodlords started to fall, Vipers started to fall here. Oliveira has made that tech transition. His army, he's gotten it to where it needs to be to deal with this army that Dark has, but Dark is changing again. You got a bunch of Lings on the way, 20 Banelings on the way, because he sees that this army is Ghost, Thor, Hellbat. Banelings kill the Hellbats. Lings kill everything else. Now, maybe not the Ghost, but that's why you have Brutes maybe. So it's a pretty solid compositional decision that the Dark is making right now, as Oliveira is really trying to take this north side, but that's opportunity here to really put pressure on this other side. No, Road Infester here, but it's gonna get, oh, it's gonna get the fungal. It's only one though. Bailey's looking for the connections. Personal cloaking does nothing. It absolutely does nothing here, and Dark gets like, what was that, 10 ghosts. He smashes this. Oliveira scanned that. He knew that what was happening. But it wasn't enough. 22 dead ghosts. It's just, I think it was 12 of them, 15 of them in that last fight. They were just all clumped, and I guess Oliveira his screen wasn't in the right spot. He had the scan down. He saw the infestor. I guess he thought he could just kill it before he had to worry about spending any energy. I don't know. As we can see, by the way, how much less useful these Hellbats are. It was kind of funny looking at the discussions about the patch, about how you saw plentiful people saying, well, you know, making it so that Hellbats 2-shot lings instead of 1-shot lings with +3 and blue flame. That's such a nothing burger of a change. It's not going to make any difference. And I mean, we were absolutely seeing the difference that it can make here. Is now Hellbats. They're going to boost the Thors over, but now that means this base on the north side. Yeah, good luck, Oliveira. You're not going to hold this one. So Banelings and the Lings, they kill it off. But there's another planet. There's another orbital right there. SCVs really didn't dial in crazy numbers. And honestly, I don't think Oliveira won 77 SCVs. I think he's very happy with the 60 odd that he's got right now. So I don't think we're going to see him remake all that many, but the Liberator is going to go down. And we're going to start to see a couple more SCVs fall here, but Thors get boosted over, so that's fine. On the north side, Banelings, they try to make some connections, but personal cloaking is a really powerful idea, so everything's going to stay alive. You'd love to see some medevacs, but oh, the Hydra's here. You got to be so careful. Dark swings in on the left side with all of his army. He forced the army of Oliveira out of position, so Oliveira, he's going for a bit of a base trade right now. He's got an army on the right side thinking about it, but no. Maybe. Takes the Zelnaga tower at the very least. Hellbats, eventually they might get this base. But Oliveira, he's only on 5 bases right now, and realistically, he's only on 2. And one of these bases is going to mine out pretty quickly. It's only got 5 mineral patches right now. His economy is not good. And more importantly, he needs gas in a desperate way. It's odd to look at a Terran and say, hey, well, they're running out of gas. But that is absolutely what's happening in Oliveira in this game right now for Oliveira. He's mining a ton, but he just doesn't have a lot to spend. So now he's going to try to be the one that finally, once again, is putting pressure on the Zerg side of the map. This tank doesn't go down. He's going to have to deal with these changelings. He's providing so much free vision. And Dark on the other side with 3/3 cracklings. He's going to start to really do some damage here. So Oliveira, this is a one-way trip for this army. This has to win the game. Or I don't even know. He's going to have to win the game. That is the long and short of it with this army. At least do so much more damage than Dark has ever done. He's Dark again. The Lings, they're doing so much damage right now into the natural. Medevacs are going to save what they can. Hellbats are going to morph here. The wall needs to go up. Wall's not going up just yet. And the Hellbats, or the Broodlords are just terrifying. And Oliveira, he's got to return home. He's got to run away. He's got to save this. But I don't even know. He's lost the base. He's losing his infrastructure. I feel like, and he's losing tanks on the backside. I feel like returning home, he got a base out of Dark. Sure. I don't know that that's enough. But, oh, maybe if he gets the Broodlord, that's going to be pretty solid. 2 Broodlords remain, and they're both very low. So Oliveira. Okay, so let's take stock of this. This base, it had 1 mineral patch. It didn't matter nearly as much for economy as much as the production structures that were there, and just the positioning that it provided, the vision that it gives you. So Oliveira, he's got a base and a half, roughly. This gold base of Dark, mined out. This base, 7 mineral patches, but it's going to go down to 6, 5 very quickly. So Dark is on 2 bases. Oliveira's on a base and a half here. So those fungals, so nice. but they're not going to, the lurkers won't get the damage they want just yet. Oliveira, you know, his economy's not as bad. Like, well, it's bad, but it's not that much worse than Dark's. But he doesn't really have a good answer to these lurkers. He's got a bunch of ghosts. I mean, sure, fine. Tanks are gonna, well, tanks were left behind, but the lurkers on the wraparound here, they're gonna kill every single tank. So again, Oliveira on the base trade here, Broodlords and Lings into his natural. This one mining base that he's got remaining, it's gonna lose everything. So Oliveira, we talked about last time how he had to get something more, make something happen, and he returned home, and it wasn't the worst thing ever. This is, if he returns right now, he loses this game. He's got to go and kill everything that Dark holds dear, and even still, the lurker count is terrifying. So Liberator's on the way, one ghost on the way. Oliveira spending the last of his money. He's literally not mining. The anti-air, actually, that's a really solid question. There's no anti-air for Dark. These Liberators, if Oliveira can get enough detection up, can maintain enough detection, the Liberators can just win the game by themselves. But Oliveira, he's going to go into the main base. He's going to go into the natural. At this point, there's not a lot of mining for Dark either. He's mining a little bit, and that's something. There's not a ton of mining. That's personal cloaking, just killing Lings as quickly as they can. But I think this Oliveira, you got to lift the orbital. You need these scans. You need these mules, Oliveira, but he's not going to. That base will fall. And he needs cloaking. Like, he needs ways to detect the burrowed units. He needs these scans, and that is the struggle. That very much is the struggle right now. So in the main base, the tech is gone. This Hydra Den needs to die. This Hydra Den, Oliveira's win condition on top of, well, he's got a couple, but big win condition, no anti-air. Liberators just kill everything. So getting that Hydra Den is just one more step into making that happen. But now on the right side here, Oliveira is going to put this pressure on. He's Dark is long distance mining from a mile away. So let's see exactly how Oliveira tries to break this. There is detection, of course, with the spores right there, but it's the slow push going in now. Liberators soaking spore shots. That's not exactly what you want to do. Snipes go down, but this is not Oliveira. This ain't the move, buddy. You got to get these Liberators up. You got to make sure that they stay alive. They are your win condition. The scan goes down more. Oh, good EMP. That's a good EMP. That gets all three infestors. So we just got to wait. This is a slow game right now. You just wait for the scans. Wait for the scans. Snipe down more lurkers. Wait for the scans. Do it again. But Dark doesn't want to let this happen. He's sending Lings onto the other side. He knows if he gets these two orbitals, the game's over. If he forces the orbitals to lift, that might be enough, as another scan will go down. Another lurker falls. And now we're looking at 6 lurkers. On the slow push here. Okay, so Marines on the other side. There's a single Baneling. This army out of Oliveira is not going to break this down. And another orbital falls. We're going to have one scan at a time coming out of Oliveira right now. If he loses this base, he has legitimately zero shot. He cannot kill the lurkers. He cannot deal with the lurkers. So he's got to keep this thing alive. Now Thor, funnily enough, the Thor actually can deal with the Hydras. This drop should deal with the rest of these anti-air units, but they're going to burrow up. And again, there's no detection. Oliveira, he's got 5 minerals, 179 gas. He can't go and somehow find his way and get a Raven and provide detection right there. So it's funny. It feels like at this point, oh man, I'd love to see this Liberator shelling away at the mineral line. I think you absolutely can do that, but Bio's going to stim in right now. Snipes go down on so many of the lurkers. Only 3 of them remaining. Oliveira trying to brute force this right now. Is this enough? Can he make this happen? 2 lurkers remain, and the Lings are dead. He needs another scan. He needs one more scan, and I think he might be able to make it. I think he might be able to make this happen, but he's got no healing. The ghosts are so low. So he's going to take a different angle. Slowly healing things up right now. Buying time. Lurkers are going to burrow up once again, and the Liberator's here. Do we have that scan? Hey, scan 35. No. Oliveira, he's going to lose the orbital. No detection for Oliveira here. He's got nothing. I think that's just it. I don't think he can break Dark anymore. Dark is still mining. There's no way he breaks these 2 lurkers. Oliveira just He's trying. Yeah, it's not going to work. Oliveira almost makes it happen if he doesn't lose that orbital. If he doesn't lose those orbitals in general, and certainly some of those orbitals should never have died, he wins this game. He had to be so active on keeping, really, I understand the desire to maybe mule, but the play there is you drop the orbital, you drop a scan, you pick the orbital up again. You do that. Oh, you cycle that over and over again. You don't leave it to chance. But anyway, Dark snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. What a game. Jesus, what a game. The bottom right, he's up 1 off a miraculous base trade. It was such a good game. In the red, it's Dark. And of course, his opponent in the upper left almost, if he keeps that orbital alive, he wins the game. In the blue, Oliveira. And if you liked that game number 1, if you want more games of Oliveira and Dark and Cyril and Raynor and Maru and just all the awesome Starcraft, hit the sub button. Most days. Most days. I like to say every day of the week, but that doesn't always happen. There's going to be a new best of 3, a best of 5, a best of 7 with incredible games. I can guarantee that the games are going to be good. I don't upload series that are not good, at least that don't have one awesome game in them. So hit the sub button, like this video, because it really does help out quite a bit. And let me know how you feel about how Oliveira is playing, because in my mind, this is the best I've seen him play in a while. Like, it's looking good, and just in time for ESL Masters to start up. As I'm recording this, if you're watching this on release day, it's day 2 of ESL Masters and day 1 of the Asia region. So Oliveira looking to defend his title there, looking to hopefully show up at Atlanta this year. Last year it couldn't happen. No, he showed up at Atlanta last year, didn't win a single game, or didn't win a single series, bombed out, thought about retiring, entered the hyperbolic time chamber, won Katowice. So hopefully he does a little bit better in at Atlanta this year. Although, you know, given the choice between an Oliveira decent showing at Katowice or at Atlanta and Oliveira's story at Katowice, I know which one I'd choose. So game 1, we saw Oliveira try to get aggressive with the Reaper. He got a creep tumor, but lost a Reaper for it, which isn't all that great, realistically. And actually, Dark commits to it a little bit more. He gets 6 slings instead of the 4 this time. I think respecting that, even as Oliveira was, you know, maybe not as clean as he would have liked losing the creep tumor. It was still a lot of pressure, and a couple of those slings should have died, or if Oliveira had kept things up, maybe would have died. So both sides being a little bit more safe, a little bit more conscientious about how they want to play. So Oliveira, he's not going to get a creep tumor, but keeps the Reaper alive. That's always going to be pretty nice. And behind this is 3CC play coming out of Oliveira. No early, because remember, that was a 2-base timing. He did get a 3rd base, but it's a little late. This 2-base pressure build that came out of Oliveira in game 1, where he went 1-1-1 into 2nd and 3rd barracks, stim done at 6 minutes, combat shields on the way, just like this really aggressive timing. Well, game 2, it's going to be hard lead. It's going to be, funnily enough, probably a bit of a smaller map, but we're going to see a different opener. It's funny though, you look at the just kind of the baseline map setup here with the north and south, the northeast southwest side bases, and you start to realize that hard lead, its base setup, granted it's still a different map and it plays differently, but its base setup is pretty much like what we had on the last map. It's very, very similar. Dark's going to open roaches once again, which I don't think is all that surprising. Dark's been doing this in pretty much, he was doing this in a lot of ZVTs even before the patch. But I think after the patch, he is of the opinion that at the very least that Bling Bane is not as powerful as it once was. Well, I've seen him play it actually, so that's not quite true. We saw him play a game against Clem in ESL Master, or sorry, in EPT and A on Monday. But in general, I've seen him open Roach far more often than I've seen him open Ling Bane, because Banelings, they don't have that many combat shield anymore. You know, they don't have that 5 HP per Baneling that really makes the Baneling so much more powerful against these 2-base or allows them to survive so much better against these Terran pushes. So go Roaches, max out, transition. It's working out pretty well for Dark right now. Of course, because of course Roaches in the late game, not good. Ravager's fine, but Roaches are really not great. But they can be powerful in the early game. They can be powerful in the mid game. They can give you that transition. And Dark actually, curious to see what these Roaches on the map are going to do. They're just, I guess, posturing right now. It's not going to get a lot done. Not with the Banshee here. I think what Dark is doing, I think this is just a brilliant mind game, is I think he might just be waiting for the Banshees to run onto the other side of the map, because he knows this is Hellions, and Oliveira and Dark are on the same team, so you know they practice against each other. So I think what we're going to see here is the Banshees, he's waiting for the Banshees to run onto the other side, but the path that Oliveira takes finds the Roaches, so Dark is not going to find that. Swoop in, a couple dead SCVs on the third base or something. Oliveira could be doing this better. He could be actively stutter step microing the Banshees to kill the Roaches, but it's fine. You know, he forces it back. And behind this, Dark's upgrades are pretty slow. And actually, the Hellions and the Reapers, they're going to try to find these Roaches on the map. Obviously, they can't fight, but they can slow down a little bit, maybe. But yeah, Dark's upgrades are pretty slow in this game. His Evo chambers are just done. It's going to be... Okay, that makes more sense. It's going to be melee on the way. These Roaches were really just this transitory composition is... Okay. 1-1 melee on the way. No Baneling Nest, because it's going to be about the Roaches in the mid-game. And this is going to be a very quick Ultra Tech. This is going to be a tremendously quick Ultra Tech coming out of Dark here. Pretty much as before Oliveira is going to have... Generally, I think this happens before Oliveira hits 2-2. Certainly before Ghosts are on the map, for example. But for now, Banshee's just being a little obnoxious here. Getting four... There we go, 4 drones, and... That's going to be that. But okay, 1-1, just about done. Oliveira looking to get active on the map just a little bit. Hellions on the right side. He's got a double drop here and, you know, moving out with his army a little bit. But he has no intention of really doing all that much in the mid game outside of drop play. Everything else, well, that can last a little bit. That can wait a little bit later. So Oliveira thinking about dropping in the main base. The Baneling Nest is finally done. And the Roaches, they will respond, but again, we are seeing the struggles of playing Roaches, especially before Roach speed is done, is that we're going to see this gas go down, Lings will fall, Oliveira kites away, really doesn't take much damage yet, backs away, loses 2 Marines. We're seeing this issue with Roach play that happens where you just realize that Roaches are not all that fast. They don't respond to drop pressure all that easily. It's a little bit of a struggle, but let's do attacks on the way. Armor's lacking just a little bit. Oliveira didn't have the gas for it. Should be able to get that started pretty soon. 4th base just about done. And as he's at 170 odd supply, he feels ready to push. He's got, well, upgrades are even, but he did hit 1-1 first. And this army from Dark, where is it? He's Roachling. He doesn't have Baneling speed. He's down army supply with Roach Ravager against the Terran Bio. He's been far too greedy here. And it feels like this is something that Oliveira is just going to punish in the extreme. Those Biles don't land. This base is dead. I've been talking about where Dark wants to go. We haven't been talking about where he is right now. And that is just... His army's not good. His army supply is honestly pretty bad here. He hasn't been macroing maybe as well as we would like to see. Lings are going to try to get on top. The tanks are all there. Biles get a single one. And that Banshee's the main base. They're going to try to kill the macro hatch. What in the world is Dark going to do to stop this? It's going to be a struggle. Baneling speed's not done. The Banelings just die. Well, I would think they would die. They're not exactly target fire down, but this parade push coming out of Oliveira here, eventually, I guess eventually, this should get cleaned up, but it's a expensive hold, even if it does get cleaned up. I guess the tanks die, so that really should be the end of it. No saving this last tank as well. So Oliveira overextends on the parade push a little bit, but he gets a base. He knocks Dark down to like 130 supply. And this was Dark being greedy. This was the Ultra Cavern idea. Dark just, he got caught out. He got exposed on this build. I don't think he thought that Oliveira was going to put pressure on 3 bases. I think he thought Oliveira was going to maybe wait to max out or something. But Oliveira, whether because he read the game properly, whether because just this is how he wants to play, whether it's because Oliveira and Dark are on the same team, Oliveira figured it out. He got it all. He knew what was happening. And that means he got a base, and he got a pretty expensive trade out of Dark as well. So on the left side here, Oliveira's going to find this attempted base, and I don't think he kills it. Yeah, Parasitic Bomb is going to force things back, as are just the significant amount of units, so he's not going to get the base. But he will go, and he will know that it's happening. And granted, it's Dark. Dark, whenever he loses a base, he takes 2 more anyways, so that shouldn't surprise you all that much. Just target fire on a couple of these Banes, and oh, target fire right there. Let's see how good it is. The splits are pretty solid as well. So the Banes go down. The army's still there. And it's just a couple Lings that don't have the best upgrades. But now Oliveira's maxed out. Dark. 170 supply. Ultra's on the way, but no chitinous plating done. These Ultras, as they pop, they're going to be 1 armor Ultras. They're just, yeah, they're beefy, but they're not tanky. It's like, yeah, they got a bunch of HP, but with that little armor, these +2 Marines will shred them. The Marauders will shred them. These Ultras are such a last-ditch effort that I have 0 faith that these Ultras working. Dark, I guess think he might as well have committed to the tech, but no. 0 shot. These 1 armor Ultras are going to do anything whatsoever. Here's Oliveira pushing in. The Blinding Cloud's nice. It gets a tank, but everything else splits away. And Oliveira, he smashes Dark. Dark, far too greedy. far too greedy. And Oliveira ties this up. We're going to game 3. Now in our 3rd and final game of this series. It's the best of 3. In the bottom left, a little too greedy, I think, in that 2nd game. He's Dark. His opponent in the upper right, in the blue, Oliveira. Spam this aloe vera to support Oliveira, which is it's pretty great copy pasta. Of course, there is no bias here, although I truly do love Oliveira's storyline. Just what happened, that the story that we got out of Oliveira, not just the incredible run, of course, but everything going into it, the brink of retirement, his dad saying, dude, just give it one more shot, the changing of the name to just represent turning over this new leaf, all that stuff is just so good, man. It's just so good. Let's see what happens here. Game 3 on Alcyone. It's a pretty cool map. It's effectively, I know I've talked about this a couple times now, but it's effectively an island map. And that these 4 bases on the bottom side, and I guess maybe we consider it 6 bases because these are technically bases, but this bottom right side of the map, you gotta mine through it. You gotta knock some rocks down or something. It's pretty inaccessible in the early game. And that's pretty cool. We've definitely seen some, I've definitely seen some awkward proxies. But Dark, I'm sorry. You know what? There's something I should have been talking about that I didn't because I was excited about the map. Dark has gone 3 hatch before pool here in this game number 3. You do not see that all that often in general. Well, you don't see it all that often, in part because it's easily punishable. but also because it's not all, you don't, it's not, this is not Heart of the Swarm. There's not a ton of efficiency gains off of going 3 hats before pool because your queens are so much later. And because you kind of cut drones to make it happen. But, oh, what is Dark going for? Evo chamber done. Oliveira is not going to see it, but he will know that there's the fact that he can get this damage in the main base is kind of ridiculous. So Oliveira, did he see that? No. Okay, so he did not see the Evo chamber. +1 melee. Is this a Ling Bane bust? No, okay, he's not mining gas anymore. So this is a +1 melee speedling all in against a Terran. This is either brilliant or this is horrible. There is no in between. Oliveira going for a 2-1-1 opening. 3cc 2-1-1. So the TY build. He's going to have a couple Hellions on the map. If Dark's army catches him, catches these 16 Marines with +1 done as he's on the map, I think this is fantastic for Dark. He's just going to shred it. But if Oliveira catches wind of what's happening, if he, or even if he just picks up and runs home, I don't really have a lot of faith in this build from Dark. This is very experimental. Clearly, this is incredibly experimental. But a Terran can always hide behind a wall. Now, Dark is mining a little gas again. He's got 40 gas. Pretty soon, he's going to have the 50 gas required to build a Baneling nest. And then, you know, theoretically, he's going to have enough gas to build a couple Banes by the time that something happens. Here's now the Hellions. They're running forward, sharking around, playing pretend that this isn't a 2-1-1. The Ling's not thinking about diving in, but they don't have 1-1 yet. Well, they don't have +1 yet. The Hellions actually, they're going to dive in pretty deeply here. Well, the Reaper will fall down. This is just not great for Oliveira. He's going to try to kill what he can, but it's just Lings. Granted, killing Lings right now is actually a really nice thing. Is he going to go into the main base? Is he going to see this? Oh, yes. Oliveira sees it just in time. He sees the Evo chamber. But does he have any idea what's happening? You don't. This is not a build that happens against Terran regardless. Does he have any idea? Yeah, he's walling off right now. This might be too late, actually, but he knows what's up. He's going to be able to click on the Lings now. He sees that this is +1 melee. Nick of time. Nick of time. Oliveira figured it out. Now Dark, he's droning behind it. But he's down workers against a Terran player at 5 minutes in. So now the question really is, how does Dark wiggle his way out of this situation? He has gone and this crazy +1 Ling speedling flood that was, I guess, relying solely on Oliveira not having a natural wall, which, you know, spoiler alert, he had. We got Carapace on the way, so his upgrades are, they're going to be a little bit faster than the Terran, but not a ton. And Dark is just desperately trying to macro behind this, desperately building drones, buying time. He's got the lair on the way on this slow trickle of gas that he's mining. As this drop will, a rare mistake there from Oliveira, loses the drop. So it seems like Dark is just going to go pure Ling Bane off of this. Now Lings are going to look for this, but I mean, with Hellions, oh, this is a good position for the Hellions. Even as they might eventually fall down, it's not cost effective at all. Dark tried to ambush the third base. It's not going to work out. The Hellions, and I do like just a couple extra Hellions that Oliveira made just to make sure he's safe. Very cool idea. But it seems like Dark behind this mass expand Ling Bane, he's going to have this 1-1 timing for about 8 seconds before the Terran's done. That's not enough to really do much of anything. Now Oliveira's on the map. He's knocking down a ton of creep spread. And Dark, he can react in kind. The Marines, they get picked up, but again, they can just pick up. They can run away. So Dark is doing a solid job of kind of establishing his position on the map a little bit. Although getting caught in that oh, that's a painful choke. And by the way, banelings are done. That we don't have baneling speed on the way. Dark trying to save as much gas as he can to get his 2-2 to get banelings defensively, but man, baneling, it feels so hard to take a fight against the Terran before baneling speed. I don't care that you're on creep. It just, that extra speed is so key. And now baneling speed's on the way, so at least there's that. As Oliveira looking to canvas the right side, trying to see whether Dark's trying to sneak a base, and there's creep there, sure, but the base is not on the way yet. So Oliveira, he's going to have a really strong pushing position here. The banelings will really struggle to make any connection because it's so heavily choked out. You can stick Hellbats in the choke. You will be fine. So Dark, he's just going for a big counterattack here. Banelings not getting the connections that they need not to start. They're all just dying. Not even a target fire. There's nothing to buffer for it. So all the workers are going down. 15 drones falling. It's a hot pickup. Into the main base we go. The run by from Dark on the other side didn't even cancel the command center. Dark is in such a rough spot right now. I truly struggle to see what Oliveira is going to be able, or what Dark's going to be able to do, but he's going to look for this round right now. Target fire there on the Banes. Getting more. Oh, man. Oliveira. He's playing so well in this series. And another triple drop on the left side. This time, a couple tanks in tow. Just, why not? Well, excuse me. I guess a couple Hellbats in tow. Just a little bit more. If Dark's going to play Ling Bane, Hellbat Mine is a great way to deal with it. The drop on the left side right now. Now Baneling speed is done, so it's not quite as easy to deal with this as previously. But Dark taps out. He knows he's dead. His all-in did not work. And Oliveira moves on to the finals of the KSL. And of course, if you do want to support the KSL, if you do want to make sure that we can keep getting these games week after week, there's a link to the Patreon in the description below. If you want to contribute, I strongly urge you to. They're doing an awesome job. But see you next time.